Why do teenagers rebel against their parents? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, how to build strong family bonds, child development, and education, all through the lens of the principle self-government. And in this video, we're talking about teens rebelling. In this video, we're going to talk about why teens rebel against their parents, and some of the answers might surprise you. We're also going to talk about what to do when they rebel against you. So why do teens rebel against their parents? These people they love more than anybody else, and the people that they know love them more than anybody else. Well, that right there might be one of the reasons that they choose to test their boundaries with their parents. So it is culturally popular for teens to rebel against their parents. It's kind of a cool thing, almost a rite of passage in most places, that teens decide, I'm going to launch off on my own in this one area. I'm going to try this, even though nobody else knows I'm going to try it yet. In fact, I think the more that parents are secluding and sheltering their children from having adult experiences, the more rebellion that we will actually see. When a youth or a child is given the opportunity to do mature things and have adult experiences, problem solve on their own, figure things out on their own, they actually are less likely to rebel going forward. Everyone wants to spread their wings. And teens usually want to prove to themselves and to others that they can do stuff, that they are capable of doing mature adult things. They want to test their own strengths as well as impress their friends. So as a parent, how do you keep your child from rebelling against you? Well, you're never going to fully stop someone from deciding when they want to try something on their own. It's a choice they make, a decision. And quite frankly, in some ways, it's a little bit healthy. When a child decides to do something on their own without parental approval, or sometimes to even push back against parental authority a little bit, this gives them the opportunity to evaluate a lot of different things. They evaluate, who am I? Who are my parents? What are we to each other? What should my respect be? Is it okay for me to do things on my own? What types of things should I do on my own? Those types of questions go through a child's mind when they are anticipating rebellion. They also think things like, what could happen to me? Is this a wise decision? What would my parents think about this? What kind of a conversation am I going to need to have with them after I do this? Those questions are all good questions for a teen to consider when they are in the process of maturing and growing. However, as you and I both know, there really is no need to rebel against parents, especially if you have a good communication or dialogue with the parents. You have a way of communicating a difference of opinions, and the parents and the child have an understanding of roles and who each other is in the family. So if you've already subscribed to this channel, then you'll know that this whole channel is all about improving family relationships by improving the dialogue and by self-government, meaning parents and children both choose to self-assess, make plan for themselves, and then follow through. Obviously, children's learning curve is a little bit different than the parent learning curve. Parents usually are highly motivated to self-govern themselves so that they can be productive, accomplish their goals, and set good examples for their children. The youth don't necessarily feel the same type of pressure because they don't feel like they need to be examples to their parents. So they test things a little bit more, especially because they are acutely aware of the fact that they are maturing, growing, learning. That's what their whole life's about. In fact, their role, their primary role, is to be a learner. In my book, Roles: The Secret to Family, Business, and Social Success, I talk about the roles of parents and the roles of children. If parents or children do not accomplish their family roles, that leads to dysfunction. The main role for parents is teacher, and the main role for child or teen is learner. If the learners won't learn or the teachers won't teach, then the family falls into a state of dysfunction. This is very difficult for the family to deal with because then all of the problems that they need to solve, even the day-to-day things, become more difficult. So if you don't want your child to rebel against you, start by teaching roles. Get on the same place with who you are in the family to each other. What is the role of 15-year-old daughter or 12-year-old son? They do have their roles, and those things need to be deliberately discussed. Also, if you create an environment in your home where you know how to follow instructions and accept no answers and criticism, accept consequences and disagree appropriately, then you'll be able to maintain your role and the parental authority in your home so that your child also feels respect for you and they are feeling like they are understood by you too. That disagree appropriately skill is usually a teen's favorite skill if they want to change your mind and if they're not oppositional defiant. If they are oppositional defiant, you may have to instruct them when to use the skill. But if those types of skills become the normal in the family and you have regular meetings with your children with maybe a teaching self-government mentor meeting approach, or maybe even having occasional parent counseling sessions, which I discuss in my TSG parenting course, then you can have a better relationship with your child. Your child will feel more open and connected to you, more understood, will be less likely to rebel against the rules that you establish. But even if you have the most obedient child all the way along, there still is the option that that child could rebel against one of your standards because they feel a need to test. I remember showing home after curfew. I remember conversations that I had with my parents about that. I remember taking the car or the keys to the car and having my parents have a problem with that because that went against our family rules. They needed to know when I was going to be using the car and I needed to ask for permission. There were many things that I pushed against or wiggled around. I remember sometimes lying to my parents to try to cover up for myself too, because I was doing things with boys that I shouldn't have done, or, I mean, nothing extreme, of course, but things that I didn't want them to know about. But in a way, that's kind of part of adolescence, is spreading your wings a little bit and seeing what that adult life is like so that you make proper plans for yourself. So prepare yourself as a parent to be completely calm. If you find out that your child has rebelled against you, prepare yourself for calmness. Have a way that you will correct the problem that is predictable for you and them. Teach it to them ahead of time and then follow through consistently. On this channel, there are so many videos that go into the dialogue that you can have when you are correcting your child. Also, I have full trainings on how to help your family learn self-government. But first, usually the first step that is best for parents who might be dealing with rebellious teens is to evaluate their own self-government and get their own calmness in the right place. So I have a calm parenting toolkit that I would like to give you for free. If you click on the link in the description below this video that says teachselfgov.com/toolkit, you can have my calm parenting toolkit for free right now. There's 10 lessons that will help you improve calmness and help prepare you to also help your teen be more calm too. Click on that link now. I'll see you there.